Mike Taylor Live is presented by Texas Cheer Liquor. And now, live from Oahu, Mike Taylor.
Greetings. It's the G-Man on with us tonight. We have a guest. We don't always have them. I like to only have them on when they're going to be good, or there's somebody of note, and I anticipate this will be a good guest, and it's also somebody of note, as we have announced in the last few weeks that we are partners, proud partners, no BS. We are very hyped to be involved with the Austin Gamblers. 2 months ago, I probably started talking to J.J. Gotch, the CEO of the Gamblers, a guy I've known for a long time. And when he decided to get out of the baseball business and get into the bull riding business, I thought, that's pretty badass. And I can't think of anything more Texan, anything I'd rather be involved with that's more Texas than bull riding talk. So here we are, and the Austin Gamblers are one of our sponsors, which means that we kiss their butt every time we come on the air. But it also means that we interview their people. But this isn't kissing butt. This is one of those ones that it's like, this is a fun partnership, and I hope it lasts for a long, long time. And because we're all kind of doing something new together. I'm getting reacquainted with bull riding. I used to go all the time when I was a kid in Fort Worth at the old Fat Stock Show back in the day, but I have not been in a long, long time. And now with PBR getting into this team business and Austin getting a team, timing worked out for both of us. So tonight, boys, I've got DJLG and I've got Puma back in the station in San Antonio. We have, I'm assuming from somewhere in the Austin area, maybe Cedar Park, I'm guessing. It is Michael Gaffney, the head coach of the Austin Gamblers, on with us, who tells us that mostly he's called G or G-Man or both of them. Which one is him? G?
It's all about keeping it simple there, Mike. So it would be G or G. Right. Yeah, absolutely. Right.
Very good. Well, thank you for doing this. I won't keep you too long tonight. Where are you at? You at home? Where you living? Cedar Park, probably, I'm guessing?
I am home, and we were living in Cedar Park. We just moved about 2 weeks ago into a different house. It actually has an Austin address. So we were in Cedar Park up 2 weeks ago. So you were right on both accounts. We moved down here, my wife and son and I, it'll be a year ago in July for him to play soccer. So
okay.
And we moved down here exclusively for that. And then one to another, and then this kind of fell in my lap, geographically speaking, because the Austin Gamblers being established here by the Durbin family, Egon and Abby. So it worked out great for me.
You just happened to be here and thought, well, hell, Gaffney's up the road. Let's call him. That really is kind of how it worked, huh?
It's absolutely, that's what happened. Kind of been old and washed up since 2004 was my last bull at the World Finals, and ever since that time I moved into the broadcast booth for a number of years until 2010, doing the show on television, being the been there done that guy, the analyst, and then moved away from that. My son was 2 years old, and I've been more or less a soccer dad since that time, and here I am now back in the world of bull riding. So it's great.
It's funny you say soccer dad, because I think the obvious question is, well, are you going to get your kids into bull riding? Well, I guess the answer is no. Hell, soccer soccer, you may not get gored by a horn, but soccer is no joke. Guys, people get hurt playing soccer, for real. I'm sure you know that.
It is. I tell you what, we didn't play soccer back in New Mexico growing up. I didn't understand the game. You know, we had traditional sports, obviously, in southern New Mexico. My dad was a fighter pilot in Vietnam and stationed in southern New Mexico at Holloman Air Force Base. And again, he was a baseball player out of Iowa. And so I never knew the sport of soccer and didn't appreciate it. I figured if you couldn't hit somebody on a field, then why play the game? But it's really physical. It's a real thinking man's game, and I've got a whole new level and appreciation for the game.
All right, well, former world champion rider himself, Mike is, and you said you were in broadcasting for a minute, moved down to the Austin area. So why'd you say yes to coaching? It's weird. It's just weird. The team aspect is something I'm completely unfamiliar with till this year. So it's not manager, it's not boss man, it's coach. You're the head coach.
That's right, and you're right. It's always been a very individualistic sport. It always has been. You know, back when in my pro days and all the other guys, the other coaches that are doing the other 7 teams. I mean, it is. We went down the road going to rodeos, and then we broke away from the the traditional PRCA sanctioned rodeos back in the early 90s and formed the PBR after a sanctioned bull riding out in Arizona. And we started the PBR. It was a pipe dream. And here we are 30 years later, and we're having this team concept, which is an absolute, it's a fantastic thing because of, I think, you have that camaraderie naturally in the locker room amongst all of us individuals.
Yeah.
But now with that team concept, Mike, you have that, that group and that responsibility that you really never had before. And so you're responsible to your other teammates. And I really, truly, and we've seen that. I hate to say dabbled, but the PBR has dabbled in these team type events, namely the Global Cup. We have PBR offices that we've opened in Australia, Mexico, Canada, Brazil. And so the Global Cup is kind of our version of the Olympics in bull riding. And we just had it just a matter of about a month and a half ago at Arlington Stadium, AT&T there. And country against country, head-to-head type competition, and it has that team format. And we've been really successful doing that. And so this concept and platform of franchises from the city, like the city of Austin, the city of Nashville, and so on and so forth, Fort Worth, the Rattlers up there, we're really looking forward to bringing that to the Austinites and showing them what their professional bull riding team can do against the others across the country.
Pretty cool. So how do you coach bull riders? How do you coach a team? Like, what's your job?
You know what, when you talk about coaching and the Global Cup, again, I refer back to that because there is a team captain / coach that whether it be for the Brazilians or the Canadians, the Mexicans out of Mexico, and so on and so forth. And I think, these are professionals. They wouldn't be at this level if they weren't. So I think from a perspective of a coach, I'm more, and I hate to say a glorified cheerleader, but I'm there to kind of tweak them in the little nuances and the things that they may be doing, but maybe could be doing better and more efficiently. And that's what, the old been there, done that, old washed up guy like myself could hopefully pinpoint. And you got to remember, Mike, these are kids. I mean, these kids, I'm sitting across for the first time, these kids. One of them specifically, back in our tour in St. Louis back in February, I'm sitting across from him, Austin Richardson. He was born in 2001. I mean, these guys are 19, 20-year-old kids. And, and being 52 years old, I'm like a grandfather to them. So, so again, they are professionals, but hopefully we as coaches, myself and the other 7 coaches who've been rodeo cowboys and professional bull riders ourselves, and basically the ones who started the PBR back in the 90s, can give them the old tip or two to make them better and more efficient at their job and what they do.
So I used to go all the time. I grew up in Fort Worth, and so we went to the stock show all the time every year. And just lost track of it. Went to college and got into high school and just lost track of rodeo. I was always aware of it, but so I'm getting reacquainted with it after 30 years, I guess. I couldn't have picked the best time to do it. So I open up, as soon as I found out that JJ was going to get involved with the because he's a buddy of mine, I started getting into it and reading up on it, getting up to speed on the information. When the hell did the Brazilians take over? Forgive my ignorant question. Half the champions are from Brazil. How'd that happen?
Well, I will tell you this, and because of my history and being a big part of that, our first world champion that we crowned in the PBR was a Brazilian and ended up being a 3-time world champion, Adriano Moraes. He was the pioneer that came, Mike, from Brazil, and he was actually my traveling partner. And we made it to our last national finals rodeo in 1996. I mean, the man was just a beast and an amazing athlete himself. I mean, to win, he won his 3rd world title, to give you an idea. I mean, these are bulls that I can't describe to our audience what it takes to do this at a young age, much less at 30 and then at mid-30s. He won his 3rd world title when he was 36 years old. I mean, I retired at 35 and a half, and I will tell you, I was broken and busted. I mean, with all the injuries and I just had my first replacement surgery back last January. I mean, I truly am like a new man with it.
Wow.
But it is such and enough, going to the stock show in Fort Worth and the other rodeos that you've attended and watched. I mean, it's truly a brutal sport. And and the bull riding being, I think, the only standalone event in rodeo, we have that. We have that allure to the common sports fan because of, you've got one great cowboy athlete and you've got one great animal athlete going head to head, and it is truly a spectacle, and it's a physical specimen of each on each party, and there's nothing like it. There truly isn't.
I was going to ask you. You mentioned having replacement surgery. What did you have? What did you have replaced? A shoulder?
Shoulder. I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was guessing. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
guessing. So you're going to get banged up and have to deal with injuries probably forever. Maybe you make a few bucks if you get lucky. I've always thought bull riders must be a little bit nuts, but you seem like the most normal guy on the planet, Mike. So but you gotta. There's something in you. Y'all are a little bit nuts. Why the hell do you get it? Why do you choose bull riding? What is it? What chemically gets in there the first time you do that? Where you're like, shit, I'm going to keep doing this. What is it?
Yeah. The only thing that I can attribute to that too is the love of excitement, and I never considered myself the old adage of adrenaline junkie. I mean, of course, I loved it. I grew up skiing, and I did those types of sports, and I loved hitting people on the football field. I loved really rough sports. My dad was an athlete. Was going to play pro baseball and got drafted in the Korean War and ended up in fighter jets in Vietnam. And what I'm saying that for is he never understood that. He never understood why I would ever choose the occupation that I did. And without boring you with too many details, my mother was the horse enthusiast from Iowa. She grew up in a little small town in Iowa, Midwestern gal. And she always wanted a horse. So I had my first Shetland pony when I was 2.5 years old.
Oh, okay.
So one thing led to the other that ended up putting me in that rodeo arena at 6 years old, getting on my first bucking steer. Mm-hmm. So
all right.
and that's the evolution for me. And then into high school rodeo, and then the college rodeo. I had all my college paid for because I was on a rodeo scholarship in West Texas. And those schools like that are all over the nation, which a lot of people don't know. That there are bodies like that. Universities have rodeo programs, and then an actual transition into the pro ranks.
Right. All right. I mentioned the Brazilians and how prominent they have been for a long, long time. Yeah. Y'all got the number 1 overall pick the other day. And so here's what we always want to do. This is in all the sports. We always want to say, oh my gosh, this new kid, blah, blah, blah. He's done this in the first 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Oh, Patrick Mahomes, he must be one of the all-time great quarterbacks already. Or, man, this new basketball player, I mean, he's already got to be top 20. For real, where's this kid, Jose? I call him a kid. Jose, where does Jose rank all time? Or is that even fair to do to him yet?
It is fair to do this to him, and
he's that good.
He is truly that good, and you're going to get. I mean, maybe you've researched this, maybe you have an idea, but a lot of your fans probably don't, or your listeners. This man is a soccer player from Brazil. Yeah. He was heading and always has been an aspiring professional soccer player. At 17 years old, his dad dabbled apparently in bull riding and grew up in the country, and so he had that in his in his atmosphere, in his background with his father riding bulls. But at 17 years old, he decided to put down the soccer ball and his great talent, athleticism that he is. And he picked up a bull rope. And in those short years between the age of 17 to now, he's 25 years old. I mean, his first year on the PBR tour down in Brazil, he qualified. He won their finals down there. Long story short, here we are, just a handful of years later. He's won the world title twice, right? He won our world finals the first time he ever showed up here. That's no easy feat in itself to go and ride 5, 6, 7 straight bulls in a row to our world finals against the best guys in the world. That type of pressure, that type of money up for grabs. And then he wins 2 titles. He was up for his 3rd this year at Fort Worth at the new Dickies Arena just this last 2 weekends ago. Yeah. And he'd been out. He'd already been hurt several times this year. Basically caught up to everybody, Mike. And then he takes a shot into the guts, breaks 4 ribs that we know of, if not 5 or 6, punctures a lung. And 2 days later, I'm post-draft, after we get the inaugural first pick draft, we picked him because he's such an amazing athlete and rodeo bull riding athlete. He's back with us at the draft, sitting there helping us pick the other guys. 2 days later, with all these ribs
Yeah.
broken and the collapsed lung. I mean, yeah, the guy is truly an amazing individual.
How long do you think he's going to be out or limited before y'all can really showcase him?
He will be back riding. Our first event this year on the inaugural season of the teams is in Cheyenne, the end of August. End of July. 25th and 26th, 27th, I believe is what it is. So we're talking another not quite 2 months, and he'll be riding there. Yeah. He'll be riding there.
You anticipate he'll be there for the opening, I guess. What do you call them? Tournaments? It's like a bunch of, you mentioned the individuality of the sport. It's almost like a bunch of Ryder Cups. Once a month, there's a new Ryder Cup.
Yeah, it is. But what we're calling our games, and what they are, it is going to be with the 8 teams. We're going to have head-to-head competition each of the 3 nights. So you have 8 teams, and our team and say the Rattlers will battle head-to-head Friday night. They'll get on a bull, we'll get on a bull. They'll get on a bull until each team has ridden 5 bulls or has gotten on 5 bulls. And then the winner of that competition will win that game that night. And then you've got the other 6 teams that'll do head-to-head that same night, and we'll have 40 total bull rides, obviously. Yeah. And then we'll do it the next night again, and then we'll do it the 3rd night. And then the bonus, what we're calling, if there's any ties with how many games each team has won, we're going to have a bonus round from each of the teams to come back to that bonus round on the 3rd day, if there are ties, to break the tie. So
it's so damn exciting. I can't believe y'all hadn't thought about this before. I'm glad it's here now. This is going to blow up and change this sport, hopefully. This is going to get way more popular.
It will, Mike. And I think, again, if people have seen the format with the Global Cup, and I always go back to that because I'm telling you, of course, the stadium AT&T is in itself just a fantastic venue. But to have that event and to do that, we've done that a number of years now, and it really is it elevates everybody from a riding perspective to the just the overall allure of our fans. They've really gotten behind it. And it's just, it's truly going to change like you think and like you see, and knowing the sport well enough, it's going to raise the bar amazingly, I believe.
Well, that's awesome. Well, good luck, man. And you got big fans in us already, and the event in Austin will be in 3rd week of August is what's in my head, I think. Yeah.
That's right.
Looking forward to that. All right, Michael. So man, I'd like to have you on again once the season gets rolling. And so I was, how do you, forgive my ignorance. I feel like all these layman questions are appropriate. No, how do you determine at the end of the weekend who won the game?
Say that one more time.
Does one team, you got all the teams show up? Yep. Who won? How do you measure who won, and what's a good weekend? We came in 3rd. Is that good? Or how do I know what success looked like with the team?
I think from a coach perspective, I'm going in there to win first, and so to kind of reiterate, I think after we have those 3 days of competition, the man and the team that ends up with the most wins with the aggregate win of all the 3 nights is going to be declared the winner of each game weekend. So and of course we've got 10 of those. We've got from Cheyenne all the way leading up to obviously our event there in the end of August, and a couple more, and then we'll culminate at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. There the first part of November for our 11th and final event of the season to determine the true champion of teams there in Las Vegas in November.
All right, man. Well, good luck. We got the best guy on the planet. We got a former world champion coach. No pressure, but we expect good things. I know you do too.
No pressure. I won't hold. Hold me in high regard there. We'll try to do our city proud, and I think they'll enjoy the guys. The most humble, amazing athletes. I think our fans here in town and in Austin will really enjoy this.
All right, Michael. Good luck, man. We'll be in touch again. I appreciate it very much. All right. Go Gamblers. All right, very good. All right, that's Michael Gaffney, G-Man, the head coach of the Gamblers. Like, if you met that guy, I just bumped into that dude somewhere, you have no idea he's like a former professional bull riding world champion, co-founder of the PBR. Last time you rode a horse, Puma? Or any what time last time you
Uh,
rode a
it
horse?
actually hasn't
I know
been
you hadn't
that.
ridden a
It's like,
bull.
it's been, no, God, no.
Unless
The
one of you
closest-
dumbasses had got dared to jump on one at your grandpa's farm or something.
Okay, well, yes, if you count that, yes. I mean, if you
I
count,
bet you won't jump on
if
his
you count
ass.
unsanctioned bull riding at my
Yeah.
grandparents' land, then
Yeah.
yes, I've done that before. No, the last,
Unsanctioned. Whatever.
yeah, I mean, without judges. No, it's been at least 3 years. I mean, I've still got
Yeah.
a buddy who he does all of the, downtown, or not all of them. He runs a company that does downtown, Fort Worth, Sundance Square,
Yeah.
whatchamacallit, carriage rides, and then he does
Okay.
horseback guided tours through the state park in my hometown. So I mean, it's been
Right.
anytime I'm back around him, whether I want to or not, I find myself back in a saddle. And it's more times than not, I find myself not wanting to be there, but he just literally says, "Don't be a fucking pussy, get on there, let's go." And it's like, oh, okay, well, when you put it that way, I guess, yeah, let's go ride horseback through the river bottom like we used to. Yeah.
Well, you are the worst possible physical specimen to be riding bulls anyway. Those guys are all smaller
God,
than
yeah.
me. They're all like
Oh.
5'6", $140.
No,
Like the greatest
a
bull rider of all time.
lot of top
I know.
heavy.
You'll bet. You're just too damn long. The greatest rider of all time, if it's not this kid Jose Lemmy that they drafted, the Brazilian, is a badass dude by the name of JB Monty. JB Monty is probably the greatest bull rider in the last 30 years, probably. And he weighs 140 pounds. He's a little bitty dude. Now, he'd whip our asses in a fight, but he's
Okay, speak for
I'm
yourself,
tall.
little.
No, he'd
little
beat your
man.
ass.
Speak for yourself, little
he
man.
would kick your ass. JB Monty would beat your ass.
There are few people.
I would love to see it happen.
There are few people 120 pounds that could whip
40,
my ass.
140.
Oh,
He would beat your ass.
Oh, I'm sorry. Those 20 extra pounds are really gonna
Yeah,
make
you
a
know,
lot of difference.
When's the last time when's the last time you took a swing at a man? I think you'd be tired after 10 seconds.
I think you'd be
I
surprised.
could rope-a-dope you, and you might beat me up in a fight. There's no way we could grapple like in a ring. You'd kill me.
I'm really
But I might
good
be
at
able-
maintaining.
I could
energy.
outrun you. I'd get
Of
you
course.
tired. Are you really?
Yeah, I do a lot
No,
of
I
holding
think
you
I'd
down.
have you huffing and puffing.
I do a
yeah.
lot of holding you down while I. All right,
Just
now
hold-
I can whip one more. All right, now hold on. Let me take
See,
a couple
that's just
breaths.
it. If you get a hold of me, I'm done. That's the key.
Correct.
I'm like a rooster making you
Just
run
like
around like
most
Rocky chasing a
people
rooster.
that weigh less than 140 pounds and less. Yeah, most of those people I can just hold down while I regain energy. No,
All right, so-
I haven't swung
ahead.
on anybody in a while. It's
Yeah,
been
that's good. You don't
Honestly,
need to
it's
be
been
swinging.
too long. It's been
No,
at
it
this
hadn't.
point.
You don't need to be swinging
It's
on
been closer
nobody.
to 10 years than 0, at least.
Well, that's good. Needs to get to 20. You don't need to be hitting people. 38-year-old, 37-year-old man. All right, the first
36.
6. I always forget
Don't
that.
make me-
Still, don't be punching nobody. The first event of the PBR season series, the team versus team, is late July, but there's the one in Austin at the Mood is August 26th, 27th, and 28th. The last, I misspoke. I said the third weekend. It's the last weekend of August is when they'll be doing that in our area. So support the Austin Gamblers, the official bull riding team of Mike Taylor Live, presented by Texas Cheer Liquor. All right, cool. Subscribe to this show. Hit like. Shoot us a tip if you want to via the Buy Me a Coffee link. You can go to buymeacoffee.com/Mike Taylor Live. You can join our super chats, $3 to leave us a chat in there. And support us and keep us employed in doing this show. Michael had some audio issues, and DJ LG claims it was on his end, not ours, and we're good, right? LG, it wasn't my fault. I didn't do nothing.
It wasn't
I
that
was
bad. We got
freaked
it. It was all good.
I wish
It wasn't bad at all.
Wasn't
I
awful.
wish everybody could see LG when he has to scramble behind the scenes because
It was fine.
the sheer panic that is just of like, well, look, man, we tested it. It didn't sound like this.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to do.
It was audible. It just had a little background noise to it. That's all. But it was still audible and perfectly fine. We've had way worse issues on this show. Way worse.
Yeah, I mean, we've had way worse issues from hosts.
I would have stopped it if it was that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there have been times where your audio was worse than G-Man's.
Yeah, and your video, it's been pretty bad at times too. It's been pretty solid.
Pretty bad.
Lately.
Well, your asses better get ready because after Thursday, you'll be seeing me next to you for quite a while.
Oh yeah,
quite a while.
Wait, what kind of Oh yeah.
See, what's more of an ass whip, trying to get me on from the hellscape or having me in the room? Because you always seem put out by me there.
To troubleshoot, but
the room's easier to troubleshoot, but the setup's more difficult, and you never know when I'm gonna get sick and make everybody sick by sneezing everywhere like last time.
That's true. Because you don't cover your damn mouth when you sneeze. You just like blast like in my direction.
Well, I don't want that shit all over my hand.
Go cough into your elbow. Or
that doesn't work.
Like
get
a cloth or something. Anything. So you don't want that shit on your hand, but you want it on all of our bodies.
Well, the more we all get coronavirus, the more we all get coronavirus. I'm probably had it at least twice. The more immune we'll all get to it. So maybe I did you a favor by making
you sound like the dirty bastard at the orgy in the 70s. Look, the more we all get crabs, it won't be a big deal. It'll be fine. Have a little gonorrhea.
At some point, everybody will have
Everyone's
it.
Everyone's gonna have it. So why are you looking? Why is everybody looking at me?
Right. Y'all invited me. Are you not satisfied and entertained? Well, you're welcome.
You obviously wanted all 11 inches, so you invited me. You knew what I was stricken with.
We're like 7.5, but good enough. We got it done.
I would think a dude that's getting invited to orgies in the 70s with visible STDs was probably working with more than 7.5.
Well, he's obvious. The ugly guy that's there. He's the one that he brings a punch, right? Correct. If you're the ugly dude, there's a reason why he got invited, and it's not because of his looks.
Yeah, but then he's
the Ron Jeremy
of
the group.
Card, yeah,
Ron Jeremy, yeah.
Then you start thinking like, well, man, how crazy is this guy? Like, what am I? Like, how did he get the invite? What are we dealing with here?
I mean, Puma's that guy, big, tall, gangly guy, long ass hair.
That checks out.
You keep that Rangers cap on while you're in that mood, in that moment? I hope you do.
You'd be proud of me. Badass. No, I went.
What? No, keep the Rangers hat on. It's fucking badass.
Only if it. Oh, I like that. Yeah, that's exact. Keep the hat on, and I scream, "Come on now, Spurs!" Literally, I'm coming now, Spurs. That's what I scream. Exactly.
Have you done that yet with Steph as a gag? You said you were going to do it many weeks ago. I don't think you've done it yet.
How can I do it now after we literally had listeners tell me that they did that themselves? Like, I can't do it. Like they won the gag. The gag is over. They live
you're
it.
The gag. It's your bit.
They won it.
Take that back from them. No, we had some listeners tell us the other night at the hangar that he screams out, "Come on now, Spurs," on occasion in that most intimate of moments. So you need to do that to take the power back and roll on it and let us all
being
hear.
a listener of the show, not
Thunderdome.
Puma.
Yeah,
correct.
No, I'm trying to.
A listener came up to you,
right? I'm trying to get Puma to do it.
Take
the power back. Yeah. I want to hear it. I want him to put the cell phone down and roll on it. It'd be funny.
Take the power back. Yeah. Reclaim the power of the phrase, "Come on now, Spurs."
It's your slogan. Don't let them have it.
I'm a sharer. I'm more than happy to let them use my catchphrase as they are creating the next generation of Spurs fans.
I had quite the moment in an intimate scene the other night myself. I didn't scream out, "Come on now, Spurs," but something funny happened.
Just, are you setting us up to tell us more? Or
yeah.
Waiting for guesses.
No, so
I said only 2 fingers, not 4. What the hell do you think?
No, I live on the 25th floor here, right? Beautiful view. Very romantic. It's
Very.
what makes this apartment. You've not seen it. You've seen it in pictures, probably. You've
Uh,
seen photos of the outside
you-
of my balcony.
You face lived me and turned the camera straight down and gave me a panic attack. Yeah,
Yes,
I've seen
yes.
I've seen it.
So I've got this amazing view here that overlooks Waikiki and downtown Honolulu, and in the background is Diamond Head, the dormant volcano. He's got that crooked top because it used to be a cone, right? But thousands of years ago, it blew up, and so now it looks like a half-eaten ice cream cone. It's really cool.
Looks like
That's my
Bud
view.
Dwyer's head.
Pretty much. It looks like what's left over of our Bud Dwyer. It's beautiful, and you've got the ocean back in the background. It's beautiful and romantic, and it's really romantic and beautiful at nighttime, too. So last week, my girlfriend visited, as you know. If you weren't aware of that, my girlfriend came to see me in the hellscape.
So to speak.
Nina. Okay. Don't be like that. Well, I hope. No, it's a good time. And so we're out here on the balcony smoking a joint
Come on now, Spur.
and drinking some wine, having a great time. And we were in clothes, but so she wears glasses, right? As most of y'all that know who she is, she wears these thick black frame glasses. And so the moment struck us. It's at night. We're out here on the they call them lanais in Hawaii, and just a romantic moment. It's my girlfriend. It's a beautiful moment. So
When in Rome.
we start kissing out here on the lanai, man, with that beautiful scene, and it's just beautiful. It was romantic. It was awesome. And she had taken her glasses and put them up on top of her head, right? And I got a little bit handsy. I'm a hand talker, and I'm a handsy guy. When I'm making out, these hands do things. You know how we do. And dude, I ran my hand up the back of her head, in that moment. And I forgot it was dark. And so I forgot she had her glasses up on top of her head.
Did you launch her glasses?
Dude,
No.
25 fucking stories,
No.
man. Yeah, not kidding. I hit her.
What day of the week?
Well, thankfully, she brought two pair. She had
Okay,
two
that
pair.
was my next
Thank
question.
God.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Because
I didn't know. I was in panic.
Imagine being in this aesthetically pleasing paradise and not
Beautiful.
being able to see anything outside of just 3 inches in front of your eyes.
No, I would have taken her the very next morning and taken her to somewhere and gotten glasses or gotten temporary
something.
contact, something to. No, I clip her glasses and they go, foop. I go, boy, she goes, oh no, my glasses. I go, oh shit. And it was dark. So I'm like, wait, I'm thinking surely I didn't knock them off the balcony.
Surely.
Again, 25 stories up, man. And I'm looking down like, oh my God, I didn't want to step on them because it was dark on my porch out there. And she's like, I go, surely I didn't knock them off the side. Like, no. So we turned the light on the phone and we're looking. Holy shit. They're not up here. Like, oh, fuck. I knocked them. They went off the side of the balcony. And so down below us is the pool area. It's a big pool and concrete with trees and like a grassy patch.
A knoll.
And I thought, a knoll, sure. And I thought, oh God, she's laughing and I feel horrible. I've just ruined our intimate moment, full blown Durham Bulls.
Full blown 7th grader getting to touch
Durham
titties
Bulls.
for the first time. Just, whoa, holy hell.
Oh, red alert, man. Red alert Bull. Dude, I hit the fucking mascot, So thank you, Tulsa State Fair Skyride. It's a weird name, but thank you anyway. So I'm like, should we go down there and try to find them? Fuck it. Let's just. So I'm like, I wanted to go see what shape they were in, and I thought, well, maybe they landed in the grass. It's 25 stories up, though.
Even if it's grass, I don't think they're gonna be.
So we get on the elevator. She's an angel and is laughing and taking it she's not upset in the least. She thought it was funny. She saw the funny in it. Thank God, because I felt awful. Thank God she had another pair. So we get all the way down there, and we walk into the pool area is closed. It closes at 11. It's probably midnight here. And so when I beep us in the pool, we walk in there, and we're walking around. You have to walk around this corner to get over to where the glasses would have fallen underneath where my apartment is in conjunction with the building. And before we get over there, the fucking security guard bust out of this secret door somewhere. What are you doing? What the? He scared the shit out of me. And I wheeled around, and it's this security guard, and he's got his toy cop suit on, his jacket, and his security, and his badge. Got his hat. He's official with got his flashlight. What are you guys doing? I go, oh, I figured he'd realize that I'm not a kid, and I live here. And I go, oh, excuse me. No, her glasses fell off the balcony. And he's like, I could tell on his face, he's thinking bullshit. He thought we were just two drunks raiding the pool late at night to have fun in the pool, right? Because it's closed. I wasn't going to get in the pool. It's freezing ass cold at that time of night. And I go, no. He goes, what apartment do you live in? I'm like, I'm in 2507. He's like, what's your name?
You shouldn't have even told him any of that. You should have said, it doesn't goddamn matter. I told you I'm coming down here.
I told him I live here. My girlfriend's glasses fell off the balcony. I live on the top floor.
You should, yeah, and I don't want some psychopath rent-a-cop knowing exactly which unit it is. I'm down here. I pay rent. I'm looking for a set of glasses.
I didn't want to be an asshole. I've got Nina's with me, you know. She'd only been there like a 2 day. I'm just trying to keep it cool. And I was stoned and fucking drunk too. So I'm,
that's even
trying
more.
To keep it together.
Even more trying to keep it together. To be an asshole. No,
trying to keep it together. Nah. So he follows us, and I'm like, I could tell he was like telling he wanted us to stop. I'm like, I wasn't going to stop. Fuck you. I needed to prove to him that I wasn't lying by looking for these glasses. And so we kept walking around the corner, and he follows us around the corner. He goes, I'm going to have to kick you out of here if you don't tell me, he was like, Baba, he's like, I'm going to kick you out of here. I'm like, and then I looked, and thank God the light was on at the pool. And I look up on the knoll, the grassy knoll, and there were the glasses. So I beeline over there to the glasses. And just to show him, see, I'm not lying. I'm not some 20-year-old punk kid. I didn't sneak into the premises. I fucking pay a lot of money to live here. They really did fall off the balcony. What was I? I'm not going to come look for the glasses. So he's being a dick, but I did the whole thing's so funny though that we're laughing. Nina and I are both just laughing. But I'm aware that the security guard's pissed off, but of course he didn't like the fact that we're laughing either, or how dare we laugh at him, I'm not laughing at him. I'm laughing at the scenario, So I run over there and like, oh my God, here are the glasses. And to show him, look, we're not lying. Here are her glasses. And then he got how funny it was. And he actually chuckled a little bit, thank God. And he was like, now what apartment do you live in again? I'm like, dude, I live in 2507. My name's Mike. I can even give you the owner of my condo's name. I wanted to cooperate, even though you're right. I didn't really have to give him that kind of information, but I didn't want to be a dick. I didn't want to get put on the naughty list. And so we found the glasses, and one of the lenses had popped out. Thank God thank God it hit the grass. I'm thinking maybe it bounced into the tree, and maybe that kind of helped the fall some.
Yeah.
Because what do you call the arm? Is it the arm? Puma, you wear glasses. Is that the arm? The thing that goes around your ear?
That's the glasses. Yes. Like, what do you think? I don't know anything about glasses. I just know my eyes goes around your ear.
What the hell do you call that?
Yeah, the side of my glasses. Yeah, let's go with that.
One of the sides had popped off. One of the lenses had popped out, and that's it. They weren't and it wasn't shattered. The lens was perfectly fine. You could like hold it to your eye and she could see it.
Still use it. Yeah.
Sure. And so I'm like, oh, good. Scoop that up. Maybe when you take that home, maybe you can get it fixed or whatever. Thank God she had another pair of glasses, or would have been bad, because she doesn't wear contacts very often, and I don't think she brought them with her. That would have been tough.
That would have been.
So we get back. The whole thing's hilarious. So on this beautiful, intimate moment, this wonderful moment, I'm trying to, I'm having this wonderful time with her. Boom, my glasses go falling 25 damn stories like a dumbass. God, I feel like a dumbass. Thank God she took it so. She had the other pair, but still, she took it so well and wasn't upset. She realized it was just a funny accident in the throes of passion out here in front of the moonlight, in front of the volcano.
Passion.
It was a moment of passion.
You blaming it on the volcano now? If there hadn't been
a
a fucking volcano in front of me, I would have been able to control my hands. I mean,
it's just too romantic. I couldn't take it. I got too handsy.
It's the geography. It's not me. Everybody knows I'm a sucker for romantic geography. Topography.
Well, and then she's gonna. She went today. She's back home, and she went today, and they couldn't fix them, but they are going to replace them the exact same kind that she wears all the time in a lot of her own videos on Beat and Cheese Me. Those black rim glasses, they look great on her. They're going to replace them, and she had a warranty, thank God. You get one, apparently her deal she had, you get one freebie if you have an accident. And I was going to pay for them because I felt bad. But so, long story short, everything worked out great. She's going to get a free pair just like that one and should probably have them in a week or less. So it worked out well.
I need to check into my eye insurance policy on replacements.
Why? You have any issues?
Yeah. I mean, like a couple months ago, this set just had a body land on its face, and it got all kinds of bent to the side.
Wait a minute. Okay, that sounds like you had your own romantic mistake. No, you can't put that out there. No, fuck that. You can't put that. No, I want to know.
It's exactly what it sounds like.
No, for more, here's the Puma.
No, there's no more. There's no more whatsoever. It's just that these, if you can tell, they're a little crooked. You know, like
that's right.
Just put a little tape in the center.
Why don't you take off your glasses when you're banging?
I had it was a surprise from behind the couch that somebody might or might not have realized I was still wearing my glasses, and it was
she just plopped over on you.
Pretty much, brother. Pretty much. And
okay.
And my thought was immediately like, holy fuck, my glasses. And I pull them off, and they're all kinds of,
what a nerd sex moment. Oh, we're going to fuck. Oh, watch out for my glasses.
Correct. Yeah. That was exactly how that.
That's fantastic. God almighty.
Yeah. I need to check my insurance policy. I might.
Yeah. If you
might be able to get a replacement.
Well, she said she just got this pair in August, so it hadn't been a year, so they were under warranty. You should need to check your warranty, homie.
I was about to say, I think mine, I should, I need to check that.
Okay. Do you not have a backup pair? Like, what if those got busted right now? Would you be screwed? I'm going to take that as a yes.
Yeah,
you need to get a backup pair, man.
Okay. I have a backup pair, but they only have one arm, as you described. So it's more like a.
What did a body fall on those two?
Well, no, those might have not gotten set on at a lake party.
God,
a couple of years ago.
God, such a procrastinator. I'm just thankful those things didn't bust all over the concrete or fall in the pool. They just, the blow was softened, but they still couldn't save. I guess it wouldn't have mattered. They're going to replace them, so that worked out all great. Speaking of pools, I just got off the phone with George from JM Pool and Spa. Renewing for another go-around. They love us hard. We love them back. You ain't lived till you gotten a good dude on Mike Taylor Live from Puma. JM Pool and Spa, swimming pool and spa specialists. Long time they've been doing pool business here in this area. They will take care of your pool for you. It's fun to have a pool. It's a pain in the ass when something goes wrong, or it's a pain in the ass to keep it up. These boys will do it for you. Monthly service. They do spas too. The official pool and spa company of Mike Taylor Live is JM Pool and Spa. All right, boys, what are y'all doing? What's going on in your lives? I know I did this show twice last week. The radio show I was not around for. And so it's nice to be back doing radio today on iHeart. But I kind of feel like I was gone along a lot last week. And when y'all saw me, I was in a shitty mood. And I was saying this today on the radio show LG to him, that part of me thinks I shouldn't even have done this show last week because I was just in no mood to do it and just felt like, what are we doing here? You know, especially last Tuesday, the day of the shooting. But I've talked to Puma. He lectured me some Thursday night, and I've talked to others that have reminded me that it's okay to be doing talk shows, I suppose. And that's it. It's okay. I just part of me felt like I shouldn't be doing this shit.
I think the
Felt like we
shows
should take a
last
week off.
week. I think the shows last week felt very differently for us individually because you and I weren't talking about that as it was playing out in real time, day to day on the radio show. I mean, the YouTube shows last week were extremely cathartic because it was after doing the radio show, being able to step away from a microphone for an hour and, kind of regathering one's thoughts about the events of, because it was, Tuesday, a week ago today was the actual event, but then every day after that, there's been some other, storyline or detail or, new report or something else that is just, snowballed off of the original event. And so getting to actually, get on here and vent versus trying to still do, I'll to peel the curtain back, as you say, talking about the prospect of the Spurs signing DeAndre Ayton last Wednesday, less than 24 hours after the shooting in Uvalde, was extremely challenging and draining, and not having Steph, Steph was traveling all last week. So I would do the radio show with Andy, come here Tuesday and Thursday, and then just go home and, sulk and, vent to a listless audience and just sit there and, doom scroll and devour as much news, as many articles as I could. As it was dark. It was not healthy. It was tough. And so, doing the YouTube show, I'm glad you did the YouTube show, even though we were coming at it from two very different perspectives in the moment, hearing you provide a level of realism absolutely helped me get through, the rest of the week broadcasting terrestrially.
Wow, that's ironic because I thought you'd be mad at me because I felt like a dick.
No, it was
with my approach last week. I felt shitty about it. But
it's not wrong. And that's the unfortunate thing, is your perspective is correct. That's the shit of all of this.
That no one cares enough.
Correct. Yeah. And hearing you lay that out in an educated manner without sounding, you didn't come across as apathetic. You came across as a pragmatist, or not even pragmatist, but just a realist, I should say. Like you were voicing the expected outcome after the events that took place, and I was voicing a idealistic outcome.
I wish
one of those.
I want yours to be. I want yours to play out.
I want mine to be right too, but yours is right based on all the evidence we have been able to gather over the 23 years since Columbine. I mean, it's impossible to argue against your accuracy in feeling that way, because that's the society that's the influences of the society that you have been influenced by.
Well, and it sucks to have a defeatist attitude and a give up attitude and an acceptance of defeat. But And the other thing is that I was also reacting. Here's the weird scenario that I was dealing with. I was not doom scrolling. I was not glued to the TV all day long because I was on vacation from the radio show. Nina was here with me all week. And so we're hanging out in paradise all day. I didn't have to do any radio shows. The kids were still in school. And so she and I were able to just, I was away from not just Uvalde, but all the world. I was just away. I was on escape mode. I went hiking on a mountain. I went climbing walls that are under ocean water half the year that recede this time of the year. I was checking out beautiful lighthouses. I was with my girlfriend in bathing suits at beaches. We swam in a fucking waterfall. And so on Tuesday and Thursday, after spending all day in paradise, not having to worry about that or think about it, sit down and do your YouTube show, and now try to get back into the shooting and try to gather some thoughts. And so my thoughts, without having any of the information, really, because I was kind of ignorant to the information. I didn't give a shit about the information, by the way. All I knew was that a bunch of babies got slaughtered. I didn't give a fuck about the cops took forever, or this chief did this, or Biden said that, or the NRA's doing this, or this is what Abbott said. All I knew is that a bunch of babies got murdered. That's all I had to react to, and having gone through the death of a friend of mine in a mass shooting, having gone through Sutherland Springs and Santa Fe and all the others, and watching all those and going down wormholes in those instances, because I was not on vacation and swimming in water holes or waterfalls, I was able to, I processed it all day long before I did radio shows those days. Last week, I had no time to process, and I was simply reacting to, oh, of course there was a mass shooting, and no one gives a fuck, so let's talk about the Spurs and who they're going to sign in free agency. And I came off like a dick. I didn't mean to do that, but I was giving you my real feelings last week. The bottom line is this will happen again and again and again and again, and that's who we are, and that's what we do. That's it. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm any less mad. It doesn't mean that I wish it would stop. It doesn't mean that I want to do whatever we have to do as a society to prevent this from happening, knowing that I'm in the minority of voters, because most voters in Texas do not want to do anything necessary to end school shootings. They just don't. The majority of the voters in the state of Texas, no voter in the state of Texas wants this to happen, but the majority of the voters in the state of Texas don't want to do whatever it takes to prevent it from happening. Okay? That is where I admit defeat. That's why I know we'll have more of these, and that's why I came off as hopefully not apathetic, but just accepting. It is what it is. I've got two 10-year-old twins who finished up their last week of fourth grade, the exact same age as the kids in Uvalde were. And so I'm not apathetic. I don't want to go through wormholes anymore. I'm tired of it. And I don't want to do that. I mean, I have an outlet. I have two talk shows now. I'm obligated to come on and give my take. And I had to be reminded of that this week and this weekend from people that I care about a great deal, that care about me, and reminded me that it's okay to do shows. It's okay to get angry. It's okay to give an opinion. It's okay to express what you think you would like to see happen, even though you don't think a lot's going to happen to change it. It's frustrating, but if I'm going to come on here and start doing talk shows, I can't come on here and be a pussy and avoid the news, no matter how bad it might get. So that's where I am this week, a week on. And the other thing is I also wanted to see, I wanted to wait for as much information to come out as we could. Reacting Tuesday was tough because everything was so-and-so reports this, and apparently this happened, and this teacher propped open a door. Oh, wait, no, she didn't. Oh, they waited 45 minutes to go in. Oh, he was killed by Border Patrol. Oh, no, I wanted to let all that come out so I don't overreact and say the wrong thing and take advantage of my outlet by saying the wrong thing All I knew last Tuesday was a bunch of babies got murdered, and I'm beyond tired of it, and there's not a goddamn thing I can do about it. That's why I think I came off a bit harsh, bottom line harsh last week, and looking back on that, that was a bit of a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. So I should have handled that better, but that's my perspective, and that's the reason why I came off the way I did last week. So it's been a week. I don't know. What are my takes? I don't know. That's it. I think what I said earlier, none of us want this to happen, but most of us that vote don't want to do whatever it takes to prevent it from happening. And that's unfortunate, but that's the way it is, and that's the way it's going to be. Any gun reform we have, whether it's a crackdown on the AR-15 or whatever, will take years and years to slowly, at a snail's pace, if we even get reform at all, it's going to take years and years and years going at that said snail's pace for things to slowly get to where I think many of us would like for it to get. It's going to take so long. Certainly on a national level. You know, it'd be a lot easier just to ban all the assault rifles, all these warlike weapons that are made for war, not for hunting or protection, but for like all-out war. It's a lot easier just to ban them or put an age limit on there than to try and track mental health. It's a hell of a lot easier to say, okay, let's make the age limit 25. Let's ban all the AR-15s. Let's just confiscate them all. That'd be easier than trying to track some kid's mental health. But it looks like what our leaders are going to do is they're going to just try to crack down more on those that are mentally unstable. And I don't know how they do that. It's going to turn into a witch hunt. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to get accused of being mentally unstable when maybe they're not, you know. But I think that's what we're in for. But like you said last week, Sam, even if they just start trying to find out people that are red flag mentally, if that prevents one shooting, then whatever.
Well,
Try something. Do something.
Let me jump in there. If it's mental illness, Texas is 50th of 50 states in terms of
cut all the funding
to
we did do
mental
that.
illness healthcare. So, like, if it's
We
mental
are.
illness, then spend money and show me you actually care to try to fix this and do something. Expand access to Medicaid. Expand access to community mental health programs. Expand access. Like, I don't care. I don't care what you blame it on. Just try something. If you want to tell me, it's not the fact that AR-15s are available to 18-year-olds where they can buy unlimited amounts of ammo and clips that can fire 60 rounds in a minute. If you want to tell me that's not the reason, sure, fine. Then ban violent video games. Then expand access, make it easier to get mental health access. Then make it like whatever you think the reason is. Show me your initiative. Show me your ideas to fix this, because we all agree it's a problem. We all agree we want to do things to prevent in the smallest amount, at the minimum, prevent in the smallest amount events like this happening. So actually fucking try some shit and see what we can do, what works, what doesn't work, and then get back to me and let's keep trying. Like, it's not like, I don't care where you fall on it. Like, there are things that I think that can be done. There are things that others think what I think is insane and we should do it this way. Great. I'm glad.
Cool. Do your
I'm
thing.
glad you have ideas because I'm open to them all. Like, let's just throw something out there. Let's try it and see how it works.
That's the most spot on thing you've said. Yeah, just fucking do something.
Just
show me your thoughts are great. Your prayers are great. Fucking do something. Because Jesus ain't gonna fix it. You gotta fix it.
Calling for action of some kind, of the slightest amount of any kind, is not politicizing. The definition of politics is, I'm upset about something. That man on stage or at an event is talking about what upsets me, and he's saying he's going to fix it. He's saying that's the definition of politics. The definition of politics is, I see a problem, I have an idea to fix it. Politicizing the fact that 19 fourth elementary school students and two public school teachers, pointing out ideas to try to solve these issues is not politicizing them. It is politicizing the matter, and it's not such a bad fucking thing to politicize the matter, because we need literally, what is politics? It is policy solutions. It is basing policy solutions to fix the problems of a society. That's politics. That's politicizing something. We need to politicize this because we need to try a wide-ranging assortment of policies to try to figure out what is actually going to cause any kind of change. That's politicizing it. That's politics. That's what we need. Calling someone out for politicizing something is not helpful to anybody. We need to politicize our problems. That's how shit gets accomplished in a republic. It's very simple. It's not a hard concept to understand.
Because we're changing the definition of what that means to politicize something. All we're saying is, no, both of you fucking parties that let us all down on a daily basis, just get together and do something. So it's basic.
The
it's
party
basic
that
meaning.
tells you to point out, the party that says, well, talking about gun control right now is politicizing it. Also, not talking about gun control is politicizing it. Saying it's not right to talk about gun control, that's politicizing it. That's literally, we have been warped in our understanding of what the actual definition of politics is. Because we have literally one party that thinks
kids are dying.
Governing body that determines policy is always the problem. That's how politicizing, the word politicization becomes evil, when one party says policy handed out by a government is never going to fix it. So if you suggest it, you're just politicizing the issue and you're wrong. No, like, politicize the shit out of every problem we have. That's how we solve things. You throwing your policy ideas, me throwing my policy ideas, and we politicize it with our policy-based ideas to try to find a solution. It's literally that simple. We could just
not politicizing
in the semantics.
Yeah, exactly. It is semantic. Not politicizing something means we don't do anything.
Correct.
Who gives a fuck if it's the Republicans or the Democrats that come up with the solutions? If one party if the Republicans came up with the fucking cure for cancer, it'd probably get met with hesitation, and vice versa, by the way, because they both want to just eat each other and win 100-0. There's no compromise, and we all get fucked, and our kids get shot, and that's bullshit. It's not a political issue. It's a humanitarian crisis. There's a humanitarian crisis going on. And no one gives a fuck enough to do anything about it. So therefore, just do something. Whatever.
It's not both sides. It's not both sides being the problem, though, when one side says not all options are on the table.
Right. I know. This particular case, it's Abbott and those that support Abbott.
Correct.
I don't give a fuck what the letter is.
This particular case, it's Abbott releasing a pre-recorded video that played at the NRA at 4:04 in the afternoon that said, we've seen gun laws passed in this country, specifically Chicago, where he doesn't point out the fact that more guns found at crime scenes are from outside states and not the state of Illinois, because Chicago actually does have it's not easy to get a firearm or a AR-15 rifle in Illinois because they have strict gun laws. Like, delivering a speech at 4:04 that says gun laws aren't the answer, and then delivering an in-person press conference at Uvalde and says all options are on the table. That's politicizing it. That's playing politics.
Depoliticizing.
If you're going to tell me,
get off this word.
If you're going to say to the people of Uvalde, all options are on the table to try to prevent that, but then you're going to release a pre-recorded video that plays at the NRA conference, the same NRA conference where you garnered goodwill from the media by saying you weren't going to appear, but you still release a video that gets played where you specifically say, I have no time for any new gun laws Instead, like you can't the absurdity of all of it. And that's why I fall back on, I don't care what you think it is, just put a proposal out there that tries to prove you right or wrong. Throw something out there. Ban Grand Theft Auto for a year and make AR-15s raise the age limit to 25. Let's see what happens. Like, let's just throw some shit out there, because
that ain't happening.
No, of course it's not.
And that goes back to what I was saying last week. So here's where I am as a dad with two 10-year-olds. So they're not going to change the age limit. They're goddamn sure not going to ban any of the guns. Okay, cool.
When did the age limit for alcohol change? When did it change from 18 to 21?
I don't know.
70s?
90s?
90s? I don't know. I don't know off the top of my head.
I forget.
But I guarantee you there were people in the 50s that were saying, there's no time in this country's history where you won't be able to order a Budweiser at 19. And that changed.
I don't know about that. That America got shit done. That America did things. That America politicized things and got policies passed and made changes. This America does not. This America also is going to wind up making schools look like prisons. And as a father, if that's your solution, that's fine. Like going back to what you've said, and I agree with you. Just do something. You know, whether you ban video games, which is insane. But okay, fine. We're going to put razor wire around the schools and fortify the doors and have attack dogs at all the doors and booby traps and build a moat with alligators. That's fine, because they're not going to, if that's what they do, I'm going to have to accept it as a father, knowing that I've got two 10-year-olds that are going to be in the public school system for the next 6-7 years. Fine, turn the schools into goddamn prisons. If that's all you're going to do, I'll take it, because like you said, at least it's something. It's something. Don't let anybody in there. Parents can't even go in. It's the teachers and the administration and your kid. If you want to see your kid, you got to face light him. We'll bring little Johnny out past the fortified door with the bulletproof windows and the razor wire at 3:30 when he's out of school. You'll see him then. If that's their solution, that's what they're going to do. That's fine.
That's still,
we're not going to do anything else, but we're going to crack down on poor people that have depression issues or bipolar disease, and we're going to turn our schools into prisons. Probably is what's going to happen. And that's if it's that versus nothing, Puma, I'll take it as a father. That's fine.
Turn the schools into prison while also giving people like my mom, a damn near 30-year-long elementary school teacher,
can't do that.
Give her weapons, give her guns, give my mom guns to defend. There's a state bill. There's a bill in the Ohio Senate right now that's getting ready to be passed and sent to the governor of Ohio that will fund arming teachers in the classroom.
If they choose to be armed. Right. Yeah. That's all I got on it. I'm with you. I'm where you are next, what you said last week and today.
I want everything to be tried. I want everything to be tried so we can put to bed the false straw man arguments of, it's porn, or it's marijuana, or it's violent video games, or it's violent movies, or it's rap music, or it's whatever it is now. Or we're teaching, or the same teachers that we hate for teaching woke CRT in our elementary school, we got to check whatever book they're giving to our students. But also, here's a fucking Glock to stop a school shooter. We can't trust you to pick out curriculum to teach our kids, but we'll give you a fucking, here's a Bushman. Here's a 30-06. Here's an AR-15. Protect these kids while we berate you and tell you how shitty and awful you are for turning our kids into this woke indoctrination clinic that is the American public school system. But here's a 12 gauge. Protect the classroom.
Well, we can argue about curriculum later. Right now, what they're going to do fast, and Abbott will try to get something fast track because he's got an election coming up. He's going to fortify. I don't know I don't know what are they going to do? Bulletproof doors on the school?
Uvalde
Bulletproof glass?
spent 70% of a state fund that was doled out to them to harden the school last year. 40%
Well, they didn't
of
harden
their
it
city
enough.
budget.
It needs a giant
40%
steel
of their
wall.
city budget is police force.
Need a
But
steel
sure,
wall.
yeah. Tell me, let's harden it some more. Harden
It
it
needs
some
to
more.
it needs to look like Bexar County Jail.
No, every teacher should be up to their fucking ass in alligators just trying to cross the moat to get into the school every day. If that's what you think will fix it, try it. Spend the money, find the budget.
That's what they're going to
try
do.
it. Just enough of these fake, empty, hollow statements about everything being on the table. If you're going to tell the community of Uvalde, the same community that you do a speech highlighting the violence that happens there, and instead of immediately traveling there last Tuesday night, instead you travel to East Texas to go to a fundraiser, then go to Uvalde, and then you tell the people of Uvalde, everything is on the table, we're going to do everything we can to try to prevent these types of events happening. And then you tell, a fundraiser in East Texas, yeah, we ain't trying everything. Trust me, y'all. You're hearing it from me. I'm just telling these poor suckers that are going through the most traumatic thing they'll ever experience in their life. I'm just telling them shit they're going to want to hear to make themselves feel better. I don't actually mean any of it. And I don't actually consider bringing everything onto the table to try to prevent this. So just so y'all know, I'm just humoring them so all of us can still protect our power and status. Yeah, that
Right.
Those are
we
the
know
guys
that's what he's
that
doing.
Of course it is.
You get
Of
mad at
course.
that. I'm not mad at that. Greg Abbott's doing Greg Abbott things. Texas Monthly had a real good piece on him. Really was a bit of a biography, maybe last month or the month before, going back to his days when he was running track at Duncanville High when he's 15, 16 years old. Abbott has always, and ever since he became a judge, it was since the accident, when the tree fell on him. Now we're getting into a character evaluation, I guess. When that tree fell on him and severed his spine, he decided, okay, I can't walk. I'm paralyzed from the waist down. The things that I can do, I'm going to do the fuck out of those things. Like that happens with a lot of people that get hurt and have disabilities. Okay, what can I do? Okay, I'm going to do that times 10. And one of the things he really decided there was he wanted to be in power. He was telling people at his first job in the early 80s in Houston at a law firm, he was telling them, I want to be the governor of this state. That's my goal. I want to be the governor of this state. And look at him, he did it. So of course, everything he does is about power. Of course, he agrees with who's ever in the room at the time. That's with a lot of our politicians. And it worked out for him. That's fine. If he wants to give 2 different messages to press conferences in the NRA, that's fine. If he wants to go down to East Texas to a fundraiser before he goes to the shooting scene, that's fine. I know who he is.
What is that?
Just get something done, man.
Fine mean that's
Because
none of that is
that's
fine.
who because the majority of the voters in this state don't care.
Even if his spine worked, he would still be spineless. That's not fine.
You and I could yell on this show and nothing changes. Or I can accept who he is as a guy. I can accept what the majority of the voters in this state, I keep saying voters, not people. And you people that don't vote and bitch, I don't want to hear from you. The voters of this state, the majority are going to vote for him, and he's going to beat Beto. That's fine. Going back to all I want, the defeated Taylor who capitulate, I take a knee, I don't care about what you do, what fundraisers and what chronological order you do them. Do something to make kids safer. That's what I care about. Whether it's a Republican or a Democrat or a communist, I don't give a shit. Make me as a father feel better about sending my kids into a public school every day. Please do that. I don't care if it's Pol Pot's ghost, said Pol Pot.
Yeah.
If he makes schools safer, I'm fine with that.
All Greg's.
You're getting this version of me, 47 years old, where mass shootings are a way of life in this country. I accept that. I accept that in the state of Texas, the majority of the voters are going to vote for a man who wants to take my kid from me, maybe, who wants to call Child Protective Services on me because my kid's transgender and they want to know why I've made him that way. I live in a state in which iHeartRadio puts talk show hosts on the air from 2 to 4. The one before me, who compared me to a racist last month because I taught my kid to be transgender because I thought it was cool and chic. I accept that I live in a state in which that's allowed. I accept that I live in a state in which the majority of the voters are going to vote for a guy who might take my kid from me, who does not give a shit about doing whatever it takes, no matter what it takes, to keep kids from getting shot up. That's cool. I accept that as a Texan. What can you do? Cool. Going back to your point about just do something, I'll take something. Because I realize that this is who we are. It's what we do. We are a culture that loves guns, and that's everybody I know owns a gun, pretty much, except me. I don't own one.
You don't own a gun?
God, no. I don't need a gun. I'm
even
47
back
years old, I've never needed a gun.
At your dad's house or anything, there's nothing, like you don't have
what do
a
I need
gun
a gun
that's... I don't know. I mean,
I've had 20 addresses in 10 years. I've never had a burglary.
I have 6 of them. What do you think
Why?
I need one for? I don't know. I born and raised in Texas, dude.
This is a personal thing now.
It's been handed down, or it's been, I thought you would enjoy a gun as a birthday present. Or
you have a high-powered assault rifle that's built for combat and war?
I mean...
That's a long pause.
I think
okay, see,
I think liberals have a very scared I think liberals have a very scared narrative when it comes to certain weaponry. No, I don't own an AR-15.
Okay, but lots do, and we're not going to take them off the street. They're going to be out there. That's great. That's fine. I have to live in the real world, man.
It wasn't
you
20
fight
years
that battle and get back to me.
Less than 20 years ago, we still had a ban on high artillery or high capacity weaponry.
Closed it forever.
I don't agree.
Certainly in our lifetime.
No, not at all. Not at all.
No. Y'all let you fight that. I ain't fighting it. I got 2 10-year-olds I got to raise in the world now.
Us and those 10-year-olds that are going through in-school shooting drills once a quarter, I think that will change. I think those are the people that will get this changed in our lifetime, yours and
maybe,
mine.
yeah, when my twins are 45 and it no longer matters. Sure. Okay, good.
Well,
That's
I mean,
fine.
it'll still matter because it'll still be the decay of a society that you pay taxes.
Well, until then, I'll take the fortifying the school. As absurd as it seems, I'll take that. Because we're not going to crack down on young men with their ability to grab an AR-15, so just fortify the school better.
You're misconstruing my point. My whole point is to actually try all of the other shit that people say are the reasons. Try them, fund them, do that, so it will be proven to be the red heron, false flag, fake straw man argument that it is. Just try something.
Such as what? Give me an example.
Well, if violent video games are the reason only America has exponential number of a mass shooting is 4 people or more shot. We've had 18 in this country since the Uvalde shooting last week. There have been 18 instances where 4 people or more have been shot in one
It'll be
outing.
18 more in the next 30 days.
That's exactly. And that's not a tenable situation. That's not something that eventually, when more people will wake up to the realization of the society around them, that something will have to be attempted to change that. We're the only country in the Western world that has this level of mass shootings. It's not the violent video games. It's not the rap music. It's not the violent movies. It's not any of the things that are readily and freely available in every other culture. It's one thing.
Ain't going away, though. The Joneses will always own the Cowboys. You can be a Cowboy fan or not. You can watch their games and buy their shit or not.
I mean,
I know it sucks.
The Abramoviches didn't always own Chelsea. I mean,
I have to raise kids in this current
Tom Landry
world.
wasn't always head coach of the Cowboys. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you just
Things
have to.
change.
I have to react how things are. My kids will be grown ass people by the time we have any new laws. If we do, I'm not worried about that. I'm just worried about them being safe today, and knowing that what you're asking for requires a sea change, and that's great, and I want that. But to keep my baby safe now and over the next handful of years, whatever the government will do to help, that's cool. So let's do that. Let's make schools look like prisons with razor wire over them.
Again, do it for 12 months and prove that that's such an absurd idea that we move on to actually rational solutions instead of the absurd.
Well, if that kid wasn't physically able to get into that school the other day, that wouldn't have happened. Maybe the razor wire and the bulletproof doors and the moat with the alligators would have kept.
You're
him
right.
out.
Maybe we treat our 10-year-olds like we do, terrorists that we shove into Guantanamo, because that's a great pamphlet to hand to the terrorists. Like, look, you should want to be our country because look at how we teach our school children. Like, you think y'all take advantage of your school age children? Look at what we do. Like, yeah, no, it's again, like let's not settle for the absurd.
I get that it seems absurd, but this is what they're going to have. I mean, this is all I got. This is what I have to go on, This is what I got.
Again, like that was, Uvalde spent 70% of the
To do what though?
past
What was
fund.
so
That
fortified about that school? That kid just walked in there like a nothing.
They had well, first of all,
What did he have to overcome to
They
get
had
in there? They didn't do
hired
the right thing.
multiple more. They had hired like 2 or 3 more police officers that, again, now we learn had no desire to go up
Son of a
against
bitch wasn't even on campus.
AR-15.
Nah, I don't trust people. We got to put walls around a motherfucker with razor wire and
Yeah, no, you want it
bulletproof
to be
doors.
Yeah, no, fucking Alcatraz of the Rockies. Every elementary
Sure.
school in America, turn it into.
That's all they're going to do. They're not going to take the guns away from these people. So that's all that I'll take it. I admit that it seems absurd. Now, are they though? Are they really good? Because that costs a lot of money.
No, they're not. That's my whole point.
they're not.
My whole fucking point
They're gonna crack
is that
down
they're
on
going to
mentally
tell
ill
you
people.
it's 90 other fucking issues, and then they're going to not do anything about the 90 things that they're so passionate are the reasons why we have these. Like, it's not the guns. It's 150 other fucking things. But we're not going to spend any money or pass any legislation to fix the 150 other fucking things. We're just going to wait till the next one happens and repeat the cycle. Like that's
I don't know. I think this time you might start seeing, like you mentioned, the money that Uvalde spent. Well, they spent it wrongly.
They
Because
spent
that place
it wrongly
wasn't
because
fortified.
it was.
They just they got more manpower out there. Guys making $45,000 a year to not be on campus. That's all they did. That wasn't the right. That's ill
3
spent
times
money.
my pay. I would happily.
Hey, that's
take-
ill spent. I don't care if they're paying $8 an hour. That's ill spent money.
That's still more than
So again, what I'm sitting here trying, I guess we're having 2 different conversations. I'm over the guns. I'm beyond that. I'm on to what's next. We're on to Cincinnati here. So let's fortify the schools. Taking guns, taking high-powered assault rifles off the street is not an option. Cool. Got it.
Even though it was done less than 2 decades ago, you are defeatist and saying it's not an option. Okay.
Once we
Just
lifted that,
filling
that was
in
never going to go back.
context.
We're not going back. All of the data suggests we're not going back.
No, I mean we had legal abortions. We had Roe versus Wade for 50 years, and now that's been rolled back. But now we can't go back for gun protection. We can go
We
back.
care more about the guns and all that other stuff you mentioned.
Sure.
We
But
care.
I'm
This
just
country
pointing
is
out
far
that
more passionate about
nothing is
guns and
precedent.
abortion.
Nothing is precedent in this country anymore. Things can change. Things can absolutely change much more rapidly than you're giving credit. Dude, we had I think you focus on the lack of good that has occurred.
No, I focus
very
on my kids are in
rapidly.
school for the next 7 goddamn years, and I don't want them murdered. So let's just put moats and alligators around the schools. Your gun laws ain't happening
really
in the
think-
next 7 years.
You really, you
not.
really think there's a scenario where you drive up to drop your kids off at junior high and it literally looks like TCJC and you're okay with that?
I didn't say I was okay with that. It's all they're going to do. You said let's do something.
Right.
That's the something they're going to wind up doing.
Sure. And then when it's proven that that is not going to prevent anything, then let's move on to the next thing.
Let's see you take an AR-15 and go into Bexar County Jail today. You ain't getting in. That's what we need schools to be if we're not going to prevent guns from, we're not going to take guns out of the hands of predators, and let's just fortify the school like it's a jail. That will prevent people from getting in there. Maybe they'll start waiting outside the school for school to end and shoot them all as they come out.
Yeah,
but if we make the school look just like a jail, they ain't getting in.
Who could imagine? What kind of fucking idiot could imagine if there's only one door in and one door out, what could possibly happen when people are lined up to go in or out of said door?
We can't have one door in, one door out. We got to have 4 or 5 fortified doors.
Both of our fucking elected senators are suggesting that. That's my whole point.
I don't think
that's
they'll
the
do
absurdity.
That. What if there's a fire?
Again, that's the fucking absurdity that we're at.
I don't think that's going to pass. I will have to wait and see. I'm all for the sea change that you want, but I got to raise babies today, and none of that stuff's going to happen while my babies are in school, and I put them into a public school setting and put their lives in the hands of administrators and teachers. I don't want my teacher having a gun. I found out yesterday that one of my kids' teachers had a meltdown a couple of weeks ago and cried in class because her boyfriend broke up with her.
Oh, yeah, let's give her a gun.
Yeah, let's give her a gun. 23-year-old kid out of college. No, God, not the solution. All I can think of right now, honest to God, I know you think maybe I'm being hyperbolic. I don't want to put guns in the hands of teachers. I just make the goddamn, I don't want to put one door. We got to have 4 or 5 fortified doors. It needs to look like the state capital of Austin.
Every single school across America needs to look like the state capital of Austin. Do you understand? Do you hear how absurd that is?
To. It's not absurd. What's absurd is to do nothing. Your gun laws are not going to happen. So I got to go on the reality of the absurdity.
I'm saying do that.
Okay, cool.
But I'm also saying if you want every single elementary school across the entirety of rural America,
that's what needs to be done.
It's the royal you, the universal you, accepting that what's more likely to be done, that every single rural elementary school in Nebraska, Oklahoma, Texas, Colorado, Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota, that every single one elementary school in flyover states is going to look like a state capitol building?
I'd have to.
That's absurd. We can all agree on that.
But that doesn't mean we don't do it.
And that's my whole point. Try it. Do it. Find the money to fund
then
that.
what are you bargaining? Let's just move on to the next topic.
No, it's not an argument as much as it is.
You're pointing out the absurdity. I agree with you, but it's all we're going to do. We're not going to take the guns out of the fucking hands of the 18-year-old kids.
And I'm telling you,
let's do something else.
I'm telling you that's less absurd than what you're suggesting, I guess is my point.
You're suggesting is less realistic.
Sure.
What you're suggesting is unrealistic.
Yes. 100%. Actually, no. What am I saying? No. Less than 2 decades ago. Less than 2 decades ago, that was the reality I lived under.
I just think that once they opened that can of worms and ended that was it. That was it for good.
Right. And in 1973, once they opened the can of worms to give women legal rights to abortions, they opened the can of worms, and it was done for good. It could never be relitigated. It could never be reapproached. It was established. No, maybe in 50 years then. Okay, maybe in 50 years then we'll outlaw high-powered assault rifles. Meanwhile, I've got 10-year-olds right now, and I got to keep them safe today.
50 years, good luck. That'd be great. Awesome. I'll be dead.
No,
That's
take 'em
great.
to
My
get an
grandkids.
AR. Get them. Go take them. Go. Y'all go buy your first ARs. Go buy your first AR.
No, see, no, that's
It's a
not
good
the point I'm
11th
making.
birthday present.
That's not how I keep them safe. I don't want. I mean, I think I made my point. It's not absurd to fortify the schools better if you're not going to take guns off the street.
No,
That's the alternative I can
No.
come up with. Make the
But-
schools harder to get into. Period.
turning every elementary school in America into a supermax prison is absurd. That's not tenable. It's just
Not
I don't need to.
how
I
you
don't need
figure.
to.
Okay, what do you want to do? Nothing. That's it. Those are your options.
I
You're not
said
taking the fucking guns out the
do
street.
it. So do that. So
Okay,
prove
then
me.
quit saying it's
Prove me
absurd.
right. It is. I can say it's absurd, and when it's actually done, I will say, look at this absurdity.
I do
Yeah.
think that'll prevent mass shootings in schools more. I think it'll be harder.
I think I completely agree.
Turn it
with
into a
you.
prison?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay,
Of course it would be
problem
harder.
solved.
But
Let's
that,
go play.
no,
Let's go
that's-
play. Let's go play pickup basketball.
Oh my God! Yeah, that's
Well, Celtics-
I got
Celtics
that's
in
like
7.
I got shot in my calf muscle. So to solve that, I'm just gonna chop off my whole right leg. That's problem
not the
solved.
same.
It's 100. That's a great metaphor that you're dismissing way too quick. It's a great metaphor. I'm just gonna chop off my whole leg because I have a minor wound to one part of it. Well, then now we're just gonna turn it. It's a supermax prison. It's not a school anymore. We're locked down. Give me your prints. Show me your IDs when you walk in. Hope you don't get Oz'd in the library. Yeah, like
You can
it's
bitch about it. I'm not saying I'm for it, and I'm just saying that that's my idea for an alternative if we're not going to do anything about our love affair with high-powered assault rifles.
sure. And like I said,
All
try
right.
it. Try it. Please try something.
I'm down.
Throw something.
Other thing
out
is
there.
now the Republicans know that's going to cost a lot of money, and those people don't like spending money. So we'll see. We'll
you know
see.
what else costs a lot of money? Mental health. Like
Which is why they cut all the
expanding
funding.
access. Of course. That's why none of this is done in good faith at all.
Yeah, but this kid was 18. So what? He wrote some stupid shit on Facebook. I don't think he'd
What do
been
you
to a
mean?
psychiatrist. He hadn't been diagnosed by a clinician.
Oh no.
No
no,
professional had
No.
psyched him out and given him evaluation. So he would have fallen under the cracks anyway. I'm not even sure what that means. Okay, we're gonna start trying to. I'm not sure what the fuck they're talking about. Like Abbott, when they start talking about, we're gonna need to do a better job trying to identify mentally ill people. I know mentally ill people in my family. They're not gonna go shoot a school up. There's so many different kinds of mental illness and what it means anyway. How the fuck are you gonna crack?
Well,
how are you gonna determine this guy is gonna wind up shooting up a building? How do you possibly?
okay, that
how do you
right
do
there.
that?
That right there, shooting up a building. So after we get done hardening the elementary schools, are we going to harden the grocery stores?
I don't know. Hey, Jesus is like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
If your oldest daughter works at Chick-fil-A, we're going to fortify Chick-fil-A.
We're gonna harden all the chicken shacks. We're gonna harden all the Lubies. We're gonna harden all the nightclubs. We're gonna harden all the movie theaters. We're just gonna turn our whole fucking society into a supermax prison.
I think that's what they want. Sure. I think at some point, yeah.
No, that's what they say they want, but when it comes to actually funding it and carrying out
Right.
the absurd ideas they have no intentions of that. This is the
We'll
whole
see.
point of all of this.
I don't know about
They
that.
have no intentions of doing shit, period. That's why they throw
Well, we'll
out
see.
absurd ideas that they know cannot be executed in exchange for the common sense legislation that we have potentially in front of us that we could.
But we're not going to get
attempt.
that.
Sure, of course not. It makes too much sense.
No. So, yeah, you're right. We probably won't get much of anything. What if
That's
we
the
pass
whole
some?
game. That's the game plan. That's the playbook.
They're going to reevaluate the stuff they implemented after Santa Fe High.
Yep. The stuff
That's
that
all they're
didn't
going to
work.
reevaluate
Mhm.
that, make it harder.
Yep.
Add another cop.
Yep.
Blah blah blah. Yeah.
Yeah, just
Did
what we
that?
need. Another cop.
I know we spent too much time on this, but it's just. I mean, it's hard not to. So, did that Chief Arredondo in Uvalde? Did he simply make a calculated mistake, or did he go yellow? Did he turn into a cowardice, pussy ass piece of shit, or did he just really believe that that kid was locked in there alone?
I mean, again,
We don't know
I mean,
yet.
do
I'd say
you-
this:
do
that
you-
some bitch
do-
needs to
but
find
do
a new
you
line of
even-
work.
do you even trust the reports that eventually will come out about, like, I don't, like, until qualified immunity is repealed, I don't trust anything any LEO says to me about the details of an event, period. End of story.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
all
probably.
trying to protect themselves from future lawsuits.
Sure.
It's not protect and serve, it's protect me from a lawsuit.
Well, that's probably what's going on. Uvalde is going to change drastically, I'll bet you. In a couple of years, they'll have a whole new everything.
I would bet you not a damn thing changes, because
Oh, no,
like,
just the
it's
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The system
Arredondo
will
might want to
stay the
change his
same.
name and move to New Mexico and go into something else. Either way, he's a lot of that is on him for not letting those officials go into that school earlier. It's also that whole, god dang, that whole thing is almost too disturbing to even discuss. No matter what it was.
I'm waiting to get more. That's such a reactionary topic that I hesitate to say too much without having a full-on investigation and seeing, again, whether you trust the results of the watchmen watching themselves or not. I mean, that's another story, but a lot of questions, a lot of issues.
Yeah, and I don't know. I guess I'm just I mentioned that I have an outlet and we should come off here and discuss. I want to have, and I know you do too. I want to have discussions that move us forward, but there are none. There just aren't.
Well, the discussions that lead us forward are discussions.
What gets something done? What can you and I talk about that's going to make any difference?
I think discussions that lead us forward are me saying, these are the things I think are an issue. Another party saying, these are the things I think are an issue. And all of us collectively agreeing, when we say everything's on the table, that means we try everything. I mean, that means like that. I think that's very idealistic, but I also think it starts with one proposal and then turns into another idea. And I don't think there are. I'm just not resigned to the idea that this is our perpetual future in store for us. I don't think, again, I mean, a country that can put a man on the moon with technology that literally is a fraction of what I have in my cell phone in my pocket, it's the same country that can do things if we actually care to prevent events like this from recurring.
Well, we need to get pretty much everybody currently in political power out.
Yeah.
Certainly everybody that's over a certain age. You know, I hate to throw the boomers under the bus, but y'all failed. Y'all fucked up.
No.
Gen X don't give a shit.
Congress has a 20% approval rating, but a 94% re-election rating. That's a fucking problem.
That's on the society. That's on
No,
voters.
It's not. It's on the system. The system that we all agree to collectively use to govern ourselves. It's over the fact that people that determine their own precincts of power can draw the lines to determine such precincts of power. It's the fact that we have let ourselves be gerrymandered into this partisan polarization that we now find ourselves in. That's on us.
Then fix it. Change it.
Yes.
Ungerryman thyself.
There are, again, like, it would require some of these politicians that, instead of actually wanting to enact change, that actually just want to collect a paycheck, it would require some of them finding a spine that Abbott will never be able to find. I mean, it's not going to happen. That's why I agree with you when you say this whole group outside of, there are 5 elected officials in our federal government that don't accept lobbyist money or third-party money. That's insane. We need, instead of it being 5 that don't, we need it to be 5 that do. where it's only 5 people accept lobbyist money, where it actually is more of a constituent's voice like it's intended to be.
You know how many AR-15s are on the street? That's the gun we're going to pick on.
Thousands.
Hundreds of thousands, maybe.
Yeah,
right?
Easily.
Yeah. My kids would be 40 by the time they found them all. Got them off the street, if they ever did ban them.
Sure.
That's why I know you think it's absurd that I'm like, okay, cool, fortify the school, make it turn into a jail. But again, I can't wait for the wheels of justice.
Why can Australia do a mandatory buyback program, but we can't?
I don't know, but we can't, and we're not. I don't know if it's not that we can't, we're not.
Why?
I don't know.
That's
I
my
don't
whole
know.
point. Why?
School starts August 5th here
I
in the
don't know.
hellscape.
We just can't. We just can't. I don't know.
I don't
know.
I'm not. I gotta do.
Why can't we ban? Why can't we
school.
ban clips that have more than 8 rounds, 10 rounds?
I don't know.
I don't know.
We don't want
Why
to.
can't
This
we?
country's different from Australia.
And not in
We're
a good
different from
way.
all the other countries
Not
on
in a
this
good
issue.
way. On this front, this is American exceptionalism at its absolute lowest. We are
I take offense for that
exceptional.
term, American
We are
exceptionalism. I take offense.
exceptional at letting our fellow citizens be slaughtered by high capacity ammunition, by high capacity rounds, by battlefield designed weaponry. We're exceptional at that. Nowhere else in the world is as exceptional as we are.
That's one word for it. That's fine. That's unfortunate. So I have to live in that world. For now, hopefully in the future, not so much. But right now, my kids will be 11 in January and school starts in August. Highly unfortunate. We agree on everything. You've got more faith in us than me. That's the big differences.
That's fair. And that's honestly, this is the only space where I feel I have more faith in society than you do. Like I feel like 9 times out of 10, I am an absolute nihilist. But when it comes to elementary school kids and teachers, who I am something that hits extremely close to home, I'm not as nihilist. I'm way more idealistic because I can't accept that I live in a society where the majority of people will choose a tax break over a slaughtered child's life. I can't accept that.
Yeah.
And if I do find some point in my life where I accept that, that will be the last hour of my life. I can't do that.
And I respect that. You and I we're going to have to argue forever on this stuff like this and never get anything done.
I think we get a lot
I
done.
hope so.
I do.
All right.
I think we both verbalize the perspectives we hold. I think we articulate them well. I mean, I
heard somebody. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I don't think it's not like you and I are going to create the policy that saves lives here, but we're having the conversations that absolutely every American is having with friends, family, and coworkers over the last 7 days.
Somebody suggested, I forget who it was. I think I alluded to this last week. Just start showing all of our leaders in Congress in Austin or in DC pictures of the inside of those schools, but not in public. Don't show them on overhead projectors or publish them on timemagazine.com.
Show them the surgery. Show them the films of the 8, 10, 12-hour surgeries that are required after these events.
Well, no, show them dead kids with holes in their bodies. Show that. Show them laying there in the classroom.
Show the work you had to do to sew a kid up from the edge of death in order to try to give him a normal life moving forward. Show it all.
Well,
show it all.
That was none of those kids were to survive. A couple of them got hurt. What was it?
They waited almost an hour. How do we know that?
That's true.
There absolutely could have been kids that were saved. We don't know that.
I know. University only took 2 kids, and they were like, "Where's all the kids? Where are the kids? Where are the kids?" Oh my god! So maybe
they waited
start
40 minutes for an adult to save them.
if you're on a jury, it's a murder trial, there's a good chance you're going to wind up seeing pictures of the dead. We need to start forcing our politicians to see this. Off the record, in private, boom. Now vote. Now let me know what you think. And a lot of them will still vote the same way.
Sure, because
maybe some of them won't.
Bastards, yeah.
Maybe some of them won't. My friend Sandy Phillips, who is in Uvalde today. I think Sandy's in Uvalde. She was a couple of days ago. She is the mother of Jessica Redfield. Jessica Redfield, a.k.a. Jessica Galway, who was the last intern that I ever had because I was done with interns after that. Jessie went to Denver. She was working on her television broadcast career. She had just gotten a gig working for the Colorado Avalanche, doing stuff with hockey, and was interning at a TV station. I think she was still interning at the time, and got murdered in Aurora, Colorado, outside of Denver, where I'm flying Saturday night with my twins. They're in the showing of The Dark Knight, that kid that went in there and killed a bunch of people in the theater in Denver. Sandy, because they won't show pictures, tells people, this is the mother, because Sandy got to read the autopsy report of Jesse. And I'm only going to say this because Sandy says it all the time in public. And it's shocking, but it's like where we are. It's like, you motherfuckers have to see, I'm talking about the politicians, you motherfuckers have to see video and pictures, I guess, to make it real to you, where you actually give a shit about dead kids. Sandy loves to tell the story, doesn't love to tell the story, but she chooses to tell the story, not for shock value, but for realistic value. Jessie was shot in the forehead. She had a 4-inch hole in the side of her face, and her brains leaked out of the hole. That is what they discovered when they went in there that night in that theater. My friend Jessica Galway, laying there with a 4-inch hole in her forehead, and all the things in her skull had leaked out onto the floor. Sandy tells that story. If they start showing these pictures to these people, it might change their opinion. It's unfortunate that college-educated people that have high-power positions that help run and make policy in this country need to be told that or seen that. But apparently they do. And so I'm for that too. I'm for the fortification of the schools. I guess that's the take I've got tonight. And I realize the absurdity of that. I do. But it's what I'm for that for now. I'm for making our schools look like jailhouses. And I'm also for these motherfuckers having to see the pictures. And I know, man, of course, parents probably don't. I can understand, but it's a humanitarian crisis. This is not a political issue. You know, I got interviewed earlier today by a reporter from Time Magazine on parents who make the decision to leave states where they've cracked down on transgender families. And I told that reporter, and I brought up Uvalde talking to her, that we've demonized the word. You're politicizing, like Puma and I talked about earlier. If that's fine, if we're going to demonize that word, let's not use it. It's not a political problem. It is a humanitarian crisis. The safety of America is in doubt. When we justify going to war with another country, what is the phrase that we have to prove? Like when Congress approves to go to war? The public, I don't know, what do they say, Puma?
Yeah, I mean,
what is the phrase?
Yeah, I mean,
national security is at stake.
National
security.
Yeah, correct.
This is how we justify bombing other countries and people.
That's how we justify moving troops into Somalia last month.
National security. Wouldn't you think we're way more threatened here in our own goddamn country than anything that might go down in Somalia?
We're more threatened by 18-year-olds in this country than we are terrorist militants in Central Sub-Saharan Africa.
Yeah, and we spend all this money on that, and that's fine. But we've turned our own babies' lives into a political movement, and that's just so you see why I'm sorry if I get defeated and beaten down. But that's who we are, and Not who I am, but I live here. I'm an American. I pay taxes here. It is who I am. It's just my team.
It's not who I am, but it's who we are. And I think that's
same.
very,
Same.
Yeah.
I
think that sums it up quite ironically well, in a sense.
I'm a member of a very dysfunctional family in some ways. Now, I don't want to move to Somalia. I don't want to move to any other country, but I accept that my family's dysfunctional this way and that way. And that's okay. Okay, I accept that. What do I need to do to try to deter the death of my own children or myself or people that I care about, knowing that it's dysfunctional and that's all I can go on? That's all I got on it. I got no answers. I got nothing. I just want people to help me, help me as a parent, that I didn't vote for. That's cool. The majority of, I'll go back to what I said 2 hours ago almost. The majority of the voters in the state of Texas are not willing to do whatever it takes to prevent our children from being slaughtered. That's fine. I accept that in the interim. And the interim may mean 10 more years or 50. For now, I have to raise kids now. I have to protect them now. I got to protect my own kids now.
Or it could mean 5 months. Just for the record.
Okay.
You want to throw out, it could mean 10 years.
Yeah.
I'll throw out, it could mean 5 months.
Okay. And I hope you're right. That's it. That's all I got. Should we check the sack, LG? Is LG alive? He checks out.
You notice he doesn't wade into these hot button social issues nearly as much. If we're talking, who were you fingering at the drive-through theater in junior high? He's got all kinds of additions to add to the.
LG's a bit of a globalist too. I don't want to speak for the man. I just think LG's a man. He's a traveling man. He's a man who's been all over the world. His perspective is a bit different. I don't know what to do. I can't make people.
He's seen all the other countries that don't have the epidemic of civilian on civilian gun crime at mass casualty numbers.
He's been to authoritarian countries where the government.
And you know what doesn't happen there?
He's been to cities where you can't spit without going to jail.
You know what doesn't happen there? Civilians killing other civilians in mass casualty events. You know what also? You know what you're describing and the way you want our public education systems to look like? Authoritarian, fascist, dictatorship government.
Okay.
So again, let's not crack fun or point fingers at the authoritarian governments when the solution.
You call me fascist, Mike, all the time.
I do.
I'm not.
For a good reason. For a good reason. Yes.
I just don't want my children murdered. That's all. I don't give a fuck what the government is. I'm good. I'm good with all the crackdown. I don't want my babies murdered.
Yeah, be fascist as fuck. Just protect my kids.
Give a fuck. I don't give a fuck how authoritarian we got to get. I don't give a shit how.
Give me fascist AF on a shirt. Somebody make that, please.
When it comes to the lives of my kids, if I lose my kids, I'll no longer give a shit about anything.
And as someone who doesn't have kids nor plan on bringing them into this fucking hellscape of a society, then I can completely agree with you. Fix some shit, and maybe I would want to have some kids. Not now, not at all.
Yeah, I know. If you told me, hey, Mike, stay in America and your kid, this is going to be controversial, but I'm not literally, but I mean, because it's not a scenario that I'll have to face. I am not going to move. If you told me, hey, man, you got to pack up right now, move your family to Russia and live in Moscow for the rest of your life. But here's the guarantee. Your kids will live to be 80 years old apiece, your twins. Or stay in America, the greatest country in the world. But within the next 2 years, they're both going to get shot in a school.
Thumbs up to the city of Russia.
Good luck. Good luck. I'll see y'all boys in Moscow. We'll see if the internet works there, because that's all I give a fuck about at the end of the day. I don't give a fuck about Republicans and Democrats. I don't give a fuck about authoritarian governments and the French. I don't give a fuck about what country I live in. I don't give a shit about anything but the safety of my babies. And I will do whatever I have to do to protect them, as I have proven with where I live now when it comes to my 10-year-old. Now, you bet your ass I say this with pride. I will do anything. I will support any leader where I feel like my kids are safer. And I live in a country right now where the safety of my kids is not of the utmost importance. And so if I'm going to choose to keep living here, then I choose to accept that. And that's just kind of where I'm at. Because I just can't pack up and move to Moscow right now. It's not feasible or tenable, the word you've been using.
What's Jakarta like this time of year?
You got to try to keep them alive now.
Super hot.
Yeah. Okay, I don't.
So's Texas.
It's always hot.
Next.
Yeah.
They got like rainy season and less rainy season.
Yeah, I don't want to move
hot
there
all the time.
Yeah. Scouting.
I'm going to stay in America and risk my kids being. I'm going to bet all my kids are okay and try to sleep at night, not worry about it. That's it.
Well, as the economist that went viral over the weekend let us know, you're way more. It's way more likely that your kids get killed by lightning than a school shooting. So what are you really even worried about? Why are you losing sleep over this whole issue? Like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Legislate against lightning? Come on, everybody!
What a moron!
Up. Yeah.
Well, then let's
never
just
go full econ.
Oh, what a fucking moron. Well, then what do we have to debate
Economists only
for?
see the world in numbers to begin with. And that's, like I said, 9 times out of 10.
He doesn't have a murdered kid either.
That is this nihilist economist at heart. Like, I am 9 times out of 10, I am a cold, calculated, data crunching nihilist. And
you can turn that argument against that economist then. You can turn that argument around on that economist. Then why should anybody have a gun? Because it's all happenstance anyway.
Correct.
It's all figures and data.
Yes,
it's all coincidence.
Yep.
Yeah. Fuck that asshole.
It's the beauty of academia.
Let's look at Taylor's sack, shall we? Brought to you by
Mail, motherfucker.
Ah, yes. Texas Cheer Liquor, big deal again this weekend coming up, or this week on the 2nd. What's that, Thursday? The 2nd?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Texas Cheer Liquor number 4 on Palo Alto Road and 35 next to Walmart's Father's Day bottle engraving hookup. It's on Palo Alto Road and 35 near the Walmart. It's Texas Cheer Liquor number 4. If you buy a bottle of either Gentleman Jack, Woodford Reserve, Jack Daniels, Single Barrel, or Herradura Tequila, have the bottle engraved at no charge. Great idea for Father's Day, which I think is coming up pretty soon, is it? Since it's in the summer. So again, that's this Thursday from 5 to 8 p.m. So if you're looking to get your old man a gift, or whatever reason you want to get a bottle engraved, if you stop into the Texas Cheer Liquor, number 4 on Palo Alto and 35, between the hours of 5 and 8 p.m. Thursday the 2nd, and buy either Gentleman Jack or Woodford Reserve, or Jack Daniels Single Barrel, or Herradura Tequila, you will get yourself some free engraving. All right? All right, that's it. We're done. Couple of quick responses on email.
Did everybody else just hear my roommate sneeze her face off?
Did not hear a
sneeze. Yeah.
Was it a sneeze?
I think we got one more sponsor as well.
Okay.
But yes. It was a sneeze. It sounded like a pan falling and hitting the ground. I thought it was like she dropped a cake pan or something.
I couldn't tell if it was like a violent sneeze or something crashing.
It was something crashing. It didn't sound like glass, but it sounded like a pan, like a cake pan.
Well, we've got 2 sponsors tonight then for the sack, because I got to go get my children. R&R Auto Glass. Can't think of a better place to get your glass fixed if you have a car that has damage, whether it's been in an auto accident or vandalism or just roadside damage. R&R Auto Glass is the only place to get glass fixed in a car. I'm going to end on this because we've been on the air for 2 hours tonight. On Family Guy tonight, you'll be shocked to know what it was about. The theme of Family Guy tonight. After Peter half-heartedly makes a promise to a helpful dolphin played by Ricky Gervais, the dolphin moves to Quahog. Dolphin talk tonight on Family Guy.
I don't know what to do with that. Yeah, and I mean, Ricky Gervais is in. He's not in any hot water right now at all. Yeah, it's kind of synergetic on multiple levels there, buddy. If you think about it.
Yep. Watch out for the killer dolphin at North Padre.
Shout out to Hector Sanchez celebrating my better half's birthday. She picked the movie and the restaurant. We saw Top Gun and it was awesome. Shout out, dude.
Hell yeah. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to your wife, Hector. Love Hector. He's a member of our barbecue committee.
Great dude.
All right, we went way too long again. God almighty. I got to go get my kids. I'm late.
Quit talking about public policy and tickling my C-SPAN bone. I mean,
absolutely.
You're talking to a guy that still watches multiple hours of C-SPAN programming. I don't. Thank you, George Freeze.
Like, we got two buy me a coffee people up in here as well.
Okay.
Tulsa State Fair Skyride says someone needs to buy me to save me. The fair votes to demolish.
Fuck off! I'm saving it.
Keep up the good fight, Tulsa.
And then someone anonymously bought a coffee and said, sadly, in Texas today, 18-year-olds can still buy an assault rifle.
Yes, they can.
Which is the truth, yeah.
And then they can go pick up a 6-pack of some Budweiser and go down to the river bottom and shoot their beer cans with the AR-15, right? Right? Because that sounds fun. Sounds like a great day.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, I'm signing off on that note.
All right.
Gotta go. Love y'all so hard.
No, they have to be 21 to purchase one of those items, and it's not the AR-15. Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
I think we need to lessen the beer drinking to 15. Shit.
Hey, why did we ever change it?
Did we just raise cigarettes to 21 as well?
Yes.
Like last year?
Yes. And you know why we did it?
Cigarettes don't kill people.
Because it's a public health issue. Because we were worried about the well-being of constituents and society. We were worried about the health and long-term livelihood.
I love you, Puma.
Of individuals. Yes, correct,
love
LG.
you hard.
We did raise the level. And we might even ban menthol cigarettes.
Y'all see me trying to sign off and him not letting me do so? Go Rangers. Love the Rangers.
All dolphins are bad.
No, they're not.
Don't
let one dolphin.
Motherfucker.
No, don't let one dolphin spoil the bunch. All right, that's it. We love y'all so hard. Thank y'all very much. We'll do this again Thursday. Thank you to DJ LG and the Puma. Love you very hard. We'll talk to you on the radio show tomorrow. It's People I Want to Punch Wednesday. On the radio show, we'll be back on Mike Taylor Live, presented by Texas Cheer Liquor on Thursday. Let Fat Mike take you out. We'll see you Thursday.
Come back, you puppy!
Mike Taylor Live is presented by Texas Cheer Liquor.